यस स्वामी जी, आज का हमारा टॉपिक है व्हाट इज डेंजरस फॉर अ स्पिरिचुअल एस्पिरेंट. प्लीज गाइड अस ऑन दिस. थैंक यू सो मच.
Okay, what is dangerous in our spiritual life? See, we try to find out the person who is a culprit, who is a robber, who is a thief. Outside you are trying to find out and to give them punishment. But in our inside, there is a robber, dacoit, who take away your peace of the mind, force us to go to the path which is not righteous. This is the dangerous in our life. A dacoit, a robber, we call October human. But they take our peace of the mind and misguide us. Whenever people do the wrong things, unrighteous things, that means that particular moment he is unguided by that robber, by that dacoit. So who is this culprit? Making our life hell and take us to the wrong path. That is, this dangerous thing is only greed, lobha. Greed is the dangerous things, and this greed mislead us, and is obstruction in the path of peace of the mind. So there is two words, need and greed. We heard need and greed. First need, then greed. Need is finite, greed is infinite. For examples, need is to fill the stomachs so that there should not be appetite. But greed is to take for the taste. We take more, these things, that things, for taste. So greed, in other words, is called also desires. So name, fame, the part of the greed, desires. So these are dangerous in our life, making our life very, very difficult for peace of the mind. Need and greed. Greed is the culprit, not need. Another examples. We need mobile. 50 years back, it was not that. You can say now it is essential having a mobile phone with us to communicate with others. So that is need. Mobile is need, but costly mobile, say 30,000, 40,000, it is a greed. So there is a very fine line between need and greed. It is very difficult to separate them. See, you can say that to go ahead, to prosper in the life, we must have a desires. Desires means one kind of greed, you can say. But whenever there is a desires, there is a fear is there. For example, you are playing football. So naturally desire is there to win the match. And so many things happening in the mind, fear when you are playing, that fear is in the mind. But if you play with a very understanding, then samajhdari se kam. So if you play the samajhdari or understanding, the fear should not be there. Risk is not there. But due to fear, due to desires, your performance in the play match is not so good because fear is there. Where is a person playing with the understanding, his performance will be more because he is not disturbed by the fear or desires. So greed actually spoils our peace of the mind. Here one point is clear, that need varies person to person. Need varies person to person according to their mental setup. Need varies person to person according to their mental setup. If my mental setup is that my goal is to enjoyment, so there is no limit of need, that is greed. There is no limit of the need. I need it. I need it. So need transform to the greed. So this one need is not there. The person who has goal is to enjoyment, the life. The person's life, the word is greed. But the persons who has a goal, higher goal, peace of the mind, higher idea, their need is very less. They are not concerned with the greed. They live on the need because they are no ideal of enjoyment, body related things for enjoyment of the life. You see the need of a yogi, need of a great man, the need of a higher ideal man, how minimum, there is no greed. So demarcation line or need or greed, it can be determined by the mental setup, by the goal you have chosen it. Higher ideal can check the greed of a person. If there is no higher ideal, greed appears as a need. Higher ideal in the life is not there. So greed appears as a need. I have 5 lakhs I need, but now I need because the family is there. I have to stay different places. Another house, another thing. So now it is a greed. So because of that, no higher ideal of the goal. Every life is based on the greed. So, and so I think you have understood a little bit need and greed. It is very difficult to separate unless you have a higher ideal in the mind. Higher ideal must be there. Then your need is less. Otherwise, you will be in the greed, the enjoyment of the life. So, what is the cause of the greed? Our life. What is the cause of the greed? Need, you have understood. It can be separated, and it is possible to live on the need when you have a higher goal of the life, ideal of the life, just like a great man, just like a yogi, just like a sadhu. They are also living. They are also living 60, 70 years. The persons who have greed, they are also living. Difference, they are possessions, material object, and this side yogis, they have no material objects much. It is only related to the body. For another example, in winter season, we need to cover this body with a warm cloth. That is the need. But the persons covering the body, it's a very costly warm cloth. Naturally, it is a great, more than need. So, defined need depends on is ideology of life, goal of the life. Here, I can cover just with a blanket or minimum requirement. Somebody covering this body in winter, covering the body with very, very costly, decorative looking nice. So from that you can understand that is a greed. So root cause of greed is what? Imagination. We living on imagination. Greed, imagination, happiness. Again, we fall in the trap of Mahamaya. My imagination is that if I have it, this metal give you this metal is a vastu, is an object, but this object give you happiness if you do imagination. So it is a greed. Greed is an imagination of happiness. Imagination of happiness is a particular object. Object is object, nothing but a matter. Just as I already explained this example that sweet meat, sweet is there, but happiness is not there. It is attributed. It is projected by me. Whereas the South Indian take, yes, sweet meat is sweet, but it is not give me happiness. But I get happiness because it is a imagination. We attributed aropita gun. So this kalpana, imagination, make us life hell. People are greedy for our imagination. Every object has intrinsic value, but people unknowingly impose their qualities of object projected value. So the great cause of this is immense greed. So we are living in the imagination. So this is dangerous. Dangerous greed. Greed comes from the imagination, attributing that happiness is there on the object. On the object which is perishable. The perishable object cannot give you happiness or peace of the mind. That is our mistake. So, if you have a goal of the life, higher goal of the life and higher ideal of the life, then you are safe from the greed, safe from the dangerous dacoit, robber from your life. ठीक है, अभी क्वेश्चन पूछो.
Yeah.
Need and greed.
Thank you, Swamiji. Swamiji, whenever need is completed, it affects mind in one way, and whenever greed is accomplished, it affects our mind in another way. So, can you tell us, because there is a very subtle difference And also it varies from person to person what is need and what is greed. So can you tell us that subtle point where how the mind is affected so that we can understand, oh, that was my greed more, and that was not actually need anything.
Unless mind setup is right, you cannot understand. You are entrapped. Only the mind setup means if goal is higher, higher ideal in the life, then you can understand. And you have no interest in the greed. ये क्या जरूरत है भाई, उसको इतना पैसा चाहिए, कपड़ा पहनना, हमारा क्या जरूरत? Because mind is always in the fixed on the higher goal. Unless a person has a higher goal in the life or highest goal in the life, he cannot understand the difference between need and greed. They are always on the greed side. The people who are what is called, have a greed. How can you prove that you are greedy? Well, no, this is my requirement, need. ठीक है भाई, चलो झगड़ा करने का जरूरत क्या है, मेरा नीड यही है, तुम समझ सकते हो कि मैं ग्रीड हूं. हाउ टू मेक हिम अंडरस्टैंड? You cannot make him, even he cannot understand unless higher ideal is not there. For examples, already given that winter seasons, that simple examples, I can have a plain blanket is essential. I can protect myself from the winter. Other people say, no, I have to costly decorated is required to protect my body. So how you will bring the sense of need and sense of greed? They are affected by the greed. They do not want to come out because the root is he has a higher ideal or goal of the life so that he can understand the different need and greed. Otherwise, very, very difficult to make them understand you are a greedy. You are greedy. Otherwise, they think greed is a need for me.
Correct. Swamiji, thank you. Swamiji, also there is one terminology which people often use interchangeably for greed, that is selfishness. So, is greed and selfishness, when we think very deeply, what is that subtle difference where the selfishness is coming from and where is this greed coming from? Like how to differentiate and how to crack it, how to stop at this.
Selfishness, and greed is interconnected. Unless you are a selfish, that means you only see your benefit, your comfort, your enjoyment. That itself is a selfishness. You only see your enjoyment and comfort. If necessary, you can go against the rules and regulations. So selfishness motivated to enjoyment of the life. So greed comes. First selfishness. मुझे ये चाहिए. क्यों? सबसे अलग है, मैं थोड़ा बाहर देखने अच्छा लगेगा. So it is example of selfishness, then greed. Unselfish people, they live on the need, not greed. That is why their standard of life is simple things. Very, very simple. The yogi and great man. So selfishness and greed are interconnected. If person is greedy, who is just selfish. Otherwise, what is necessary? अरे मुझे तो ये इसमें हो जाएगा, मेरा पैसा रहने से क्या होगा? क्यों? I will utilize for myself. Hoarding and having so many cars and house, I can. This money I can utilize for the poor people. That is attitudes. There are, you will find in the around you also. There are very nice people. They are earning so much money, but you see the lifestyle very simple and very, very simple things. Wearing, talking, and having a dress. But they have enough money. We give him for the good of the others, for the seva.
Yes.
So selfishness and greed are interconnected.
Yeah.
Selfishness is hoarding, taking, possession. So greed comes out of that and make him greed.
Yeah. Swamiji,
Okay.
one last question from my side. Swamiji, you have explained and compared with a yogi about how the need can be only food, shelter, and clothing. So, from if we want to understand the principle of need and greed, from that standpoint, what we are doing, our jobs, and what we are living in the family, it is more or less greed only from that standpoint, is it?
Yes,
Necessity.
when you are in the family. So family,
Job for
everybody is in a greed. More money, more money, more money. So there is one beautiful incident. Now people, the relation is on the money, on greed. So there is a husband and wife are living together, and they have a small house. They want to have a big house. So the husband told that I got a job offer at Singapore, but I have to leave you and stay there. You go and stay there. You earn money and come back. You see? Now our relations depends on money, on greed. So they separated himself, our husband, because this house, whatever house he is having, is sufficient for piece of the enjoyment of the girl. But because of the money, the wife sending his husband to the Singapore. So what is the relation? Our relation in the money, our relation in the greed, is it not? So this way you can see that people, as you are in the society, in the family, for family needs, you have to maintain it. But there are some people, ठीक है बाबा तुम ये चाहते हो मैं ये ला के देता हूँ. Minimizing greed. That is also struggling. They are struggling hard to minimize their greed, pressure of the family. बोले ठीक है मैं ये ला के देता हूँ, बाकी पैसा दूसरा को दे देता हूँ, बस पता चलेगा तो तुमको मार डाले. बोले हमको नहीं दे रहा है, हमारा ये है वो है, तुम वो पैसा लेके दूसरा को दे देता है. So these are the signs, these are the symptoms we find in the society.
Yeah, thank you, Swamiji.
Thank
Last
you
5 minutes
for
are
the
there. Any Akhil Reddy are there? Puneet is there. Any last question? We'll close.
Swamiji, just one observation. Everybody has greed. We all were born greedy. But one thing that changed the greed was three simple things, three simple words: SDM. We started practicing and how to understand that higher goal of life. What should be that higher goal of life? ये तो समझ में ही नहीं आता था. लेकिन वो SDM प्रैक्टिस करते करते वो हायर गोल समझ में आने लग गया. जब वो हायर गोल समझ में आने लग गया तो धीरे धीरे करके हनुमान समझ में आने लग गया, राम समझ में आने लग गया, दो नन्ना नन्ना राम समझ में आने लग गया. लक्ष्मण ने क्या गलती किया, शत्रुघ्न ने क्या गलती, भरत ने क्या गलती किया, सुग्रीव ने क्या गलती किया, वो समझ में आने लग गया. हनुमान जी ने क्या सही किया वो समझ में आने लग गया. हमने कुछ नहीं किया, हमने केवल एसडीएम प्रैक्टिस किया. So I think we come back, key is SDM, we practice SDM, we go beyond all these things. That is the key.
Yes.
Thank you.
To understand the higher goal.
Yes.
Yes, to understand higher
Thank
goal.
you, Puneet.
Thank you so much, Swami. Thank you so much.
Conclusion of Puneet is very nice.
Yes.
Thank you, Swami.
Thank you,
Thank
Swami.
you.
It was very
Thank
clear.
you.
discourse, and we got to know, because there was this discussion always, which is need and which is greed. So it depends on the ideal of the person, what they have. If they have higher ideal, their need
Correct.
will vary. This was really, thank you very much. I think we'll close with this.
Thank you.